What is going on, guys? Welcome to No Name Duelist. I am doing one of my favorite decks, the Toon deck. It's modeled after a deck profile that I saw just recently that I kind of revamped a little bit. But this is the Toon Gemini. No, it's not. It's the Toon Demise deck. Sorry, I'm tired. So I'll just get right into it. So obviously we have the 3 Gemini Elf. This card is really good. Basically, this pairs well with Defizz and Macrocosmo. And basically what she does is when she does damage, you can discard a card from your opponent's hand. So if you have Macrocosmo on the field, they're banishing. They don't get a graveyard effect. So she's really good. Next, I play the 3 Mass Sorcerer. He's not that strong, but when he does damage, you get a draw. And there's been times when I've had 2 of them on the field that tackle both, draw 2. So that's a +2 right there. So
and it adds up. I mean, the damage adds up over time. He may be weak, but
definitely, that's an 18. And then if you draw into Comic Hand, you're taking your opponent's monster. Next turn, you're attacking for 18 or whatever their monster is. So really good. And that's it for the monsters. Just 6 monsters. It's a little unorthodox, but you'll see why in a few. So next I play Kingdom, the most expensive card in the deck, but it's too good. Basically, you activate it, banish 3 off the top of your deck, face down, and Toons can't be targeted. And when if they would get destroyed, you can just banish 1 off the top of your deck to negate its destruction, or not negate the destruction, but just keep it from being destroyed instead. So it's really good. A lot of people aim for this, and the drawback with Toons is that they when this is destroyed, your Toons are also destroyed, and then if you Comic Can a monster, that also gets destroyed. But I have some ways to get around that, so I'll show you that in a few.
yeah. Not to mention, with more people playing Cosmic Cyclone, it's important to know that if this card gets banished, it doesn't destroy the Toons.
Right, yeah. When this is destroyed, the Toons are gone, but when it gets banished, the Toons actually stay, which is good, which is why I play, well, I'll just show you. Let's see. The next one that I play 3 Table of Content.
Got it.
Really good. It searches out any Toon card. So anything with Toon in the name, and then you can, if you want to deck thin, Table of Content to Table of Content to Table of Content to whatever. So it's really good. Way too good for this deck. And then I play your other monsters, the Comic Can. And basically what this does is if you have Toon Kingdom on the field, you can control, you can equip this to your opponent's monster, take control of it. It turns it into a Toon, and then it can attack directly, and it also can't be targeted. So it's really good. But when Toon Kingdom leaves the field, this is destroyed, and then your opponent gets the monster back. But this card is really good. Hella broken.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then next, obviously, would be a Demise deck without Card of Demise. This card is too good for the deck because another drawback with the Toons is that they can't attack the turn they're summoned. So if you go first and you draw into this, or even if you go second and draw into this, it really wouldn't matter because your Toons aren't going to attack that turn anyway. Plus, I don't special summon in the deck unless I'm going into the extra deck, which is very seldomly. So activate this, draw 3. And then beef up your back row, normal summon if you can. If you draw into a kingdom, set that, and then you're good to go. So love this card in the deck. And the same with this card, Pot of Duality. Again, I don't special summon, so this is just a plus for me.
Yeah, seriously, you're just getting one more draw off the Demise if you run into that.
Exactly. And there's times when I've Pot of Duality into a Demise and then
Go from there, yeah.
yeah, exactly. 2 Terraforming. I will say this forever. I only play 2. I don't play anymore. Just because it's a dead draw and I hate it when I dead draw, but it's a really good card for the deck. It just provides more options for getting Kingdom out. And then Magic Reflector. This is what I was mentioning before. So basically, you can put a counter on a spell card that's face up on your side of the field, and if it would be destroyed, you just remove the counter instead, which opening is really good because if you have Kingdom, you just Magic Reflector, put a counter on it. If you draw into another one and you have it Comic Canned, and you can just put that on Comic Can to keep it from being destroyed as well. So
True shit.
that's awesome. And then some one-ofs. I play one Defizz. Again, it couples really well with Gemini Elf. When you attack, if when she does damage and you discard from your opponent's hand, if you have this on the field and it's a monster, then it just gets banished and they don't get their graveyard effect. So really good. And I play your board right. It also was really good about Dark Hole is that it's pretty much just another Regeki when you have your Kingdom on the field, because if you Dark Hole and you have a Toon monster on the field, you can just banish to keep your Toons from getting destroyed, and then all of your opponent's monsters just get destroyed instead. So pretty good on that front. So that's it for the spells. I played 23 spells, so
That's heavy.
yeah, but it definitely worth it. And then the traps. I play my favorite card in the fucking deck, Toon Briefcase. This card is too good. When you control a Toon monster and your opponent summons a monster, you can shuffle it back in the deck. That's it. All you need is a Toon monster. This card is crazy. It's just crazy. And it's not once per turn. So if you have 2 of these set and your opponent special summons, you activate. Normal summon, you activate. They can't do anything. Sets you up really well and slows them down to play your game instead of you playing their game. Then I play 2 lose 1 turn. Before you hate me, let me explain. So lose 1 turn is really good. A lot of the traps that I have are to stop your opponent early play. So when they normal summon, you're briefcasing. When they special summon a monster, you lose 1 turn. Obviously for the link format, you can't. It doesn't work on the link monsters, but it's really good. If they special summon a monster, you just put it in defense position, then they lose their effects are negated for the turn, and it sets you up really well for comic hands. So if they special summon a big monster, an Exceed or a Synchro or whatever, you lose 1 turn. They can't attack. They're in defense and they can't use their effects. Next turn you can comic hand it and switch it to attack and attack them with it. So lose 1 turn is really good. But you can also side it if you find that like you're playing Stop the Spirals or whatever and you can't really get a big monster. Then you can side this. I'm siding Lost Wind. So this works just as well for that on that front for link monsters. If you want, Floodgate, Trap Hole. Love this card too. Even though it obviously, again, it doesn't work for links. I haven't really had a problem with it early game or early play for your opponent. They normal summon, they special summon, you flip it face down. They can't do anything. So it's really good. Then some one-ofs. I play 1 Macrocosmo again, same deal. This is with any card though, so it doesn't just limit monsters, it's any card. So if Gemini Elf does damage, you discard, the card gets banished. Just that simple. So really good. Love it. And then I play 1 Jar of Avarice. I side the other one. I really like this card because once your opponent realizes that you're banishing to protect the Toons, you're banishing to activate Toon Kingdom, they're just going to try to make you deck out. And I've lost games decking out. And so Jar of Avarice, just playing it at 1, I find is really helpful. When you have 5 in the graveyard, you can just shuffle those back in and then draw another card. So I like it. I've never really had an issue with it. I play 1 Compulse because when your Toon Kingdom gets destroyed, this can target any monster on the field. So if somebody Twin Twisters or MSTs your Toon Kingdom to destroy it, when you have a Toon monster on the field, you can just Compulse it back to your hand next turn, normal summon it, so you don't lose too much, and then it'll bounce back your opponent's card as well. So I find more use for it in this deck. So it really works well for the format. And lastly, Quaking and Solemn. Again, I can side this out for a Lost Wind if I find that I'm not being attacked by anything but link monsters. Then I'll side this out because this is a dead draw at that point, and then Solemn just to annoy your opponent. And then, so that's it for the main deck. The extra deck is still a work in progress. I don't go into it too much. So whatever you want to play in your toolbox, you can. That's what I consider as a toolbox. So the main ones that I love, that I usually go into the most, Baguska, Tornado Dragon, Castell, and Cowboy are the main ones that I go into just because this helps. I don't play, I side my Twin Twister, so this helps me just destroy back row if I find that being an issue. Baguska to save time, this to get rid of monsters on the field, and this for game. Because I don't do a lot of attack. I don't do big attacks unless I'm controlling a bigger monster that my opponent has. So if I'm pressing for game with, say, a fucking sorcerer, and I attack and I'm at 800 and I have 2 of them on the field or whatever, I can just go on the cowboy. So that's really good. Everything else that I play, I'll just show you what I have, but for the most part, I don't necessarily. They're not staples.
Look at that token.
Right? I made this myself. Fuck you thoughts. Get at me. All my tokens. So I play Key Beetle just to protect Toon Kingdom. This to keep big monsters off the field. This to stop attacks. This to change battle positions. But again, I don't necessarily. I can trade that out. This to get over big monsters because again, Toons don't do too big of attacks. And then these I'm probably gonna get rid of. I don't know, but none of these are staples. They're helpful depending on the situation. But you can switch these out for whatever you want. So that's it for the extra deck. Now the side deck, and again the side deck is no staples. They're just kind of whatever you want to play. This is what I play because of my friends and my locals. What I run into a lot. So. Play the 3 Ghost Ogre. I'll side it. 2 Necroface because I banish face down a lot. And, if I find that I'm banishing a lot and then my opponent is banishing my monsters as well, just side the Necroface. 2 Twin Twister. Just for board clear. I don't main deck it because I can't really afford to drop any cards, but if I have to, I will, especially if I'm going against the Pendulum deck. Mimicat. I love this card, but Curtis here has convinced me that this needs to stay in the side deck, and I agree. Just because I never know. Basically what it does is if I control Toon World and a Toon monster, I can activate this card if and then take a card out of my opponent's graveyard. So if there's a monster in the graveyard, I can target that, special summon it to my side of the field, but it's not a Toon. So that's the only drawback there. It can't attack directly. Or I can take a spell or trap out of the grave and set it on my side. But again, I don't know what my opponent's playing, so this only is good sometimes. So just side that just in case. Toon World. I side this because this card is so ass. It doesn't do anything you pay to activate it, but because you have to have Toon World to make things go off, I've ran into Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell where somebody literally fucked me up and I couldn't use Kingdom early game for the rest of the game. So next game I sided Toon World so I can at least extend my plays if they did that again. Moon Mirror Shield, this is up to you. I like it because if I do run into a deck or an opponent that's constantly destroying my kingdom and I can't protect it, Moon Mirror Shield just to equip it to my 2 monsters, and then they can run over big monsters and then do 100 damage. So this is really good. But again, it's up to you. Chain Disappearance, you can play this at 2. It is good. Jar of Avarice, this is the second one I was talking about before, and then Curse Seal because it's too good not to play or not to side, especially if you're going to get Side Frames or Trick Stars or pretty much any meta out right now that has a field spell or whatever. Subterra, same thing. So yeah, I like that, and that's it for the Toon deck. I love this deck. This is my favorite deck. I'm glad I found this format and I'm able to play it. But if you have any suggestions on what to play or what to take out, definitely put that in the comments below. And yeah, I'll be updating it over time as we get more support. I don't like the Toon support that's out right now, so I don't really think that Toons are playable in any other format, just in my opinion, just because Toon Kingdom is so easy to get off the field and there's not enough support to keep it on the field that the Toons get destroyed. The Toon monsters are really easy to run over. So this is my favorite format. If you like it, give it a big thumbs up. If not, give it a big thumbs up to say that you didn't like it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.